Welcome on Point Blank, a platform where we discuss issues confronting Africa. Thousands of Africans embark on deadly journeys from Libya to Europe, with Italy as their central destination in search of what they might think better living. It's a journey that begins with hope, but often ends in tragedy. This year, almost 2,000 people have died crossing the sea from Libya to Europe. What is really driving people out of Africa from their respective countries? And if they should make it to Europe, what do they expect to find? On the discussion table tonight, I have Mr. Prince Achampon, medical student, King's College University, Mr. Doji Numakevo, political analyst, and Mr. Kusi Achampon, a social analyst. Gentlemen, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Right, if we are to stop people putting their life at risk, then the root causes needs to be tackled. So if I come to you, Mr. Doji Numakevo, what is causing all these problems?
Thank you very much. I think the cause of the problems why young men and women leave Africa to embark on this journey is that clearly they are out looking for greener pastures. They think life back home, life in Africa is not the best. The conditions of living are very, very poor. There is poverty, there is disease, there is malnutrition, there is every bad thing you can think about. So they embark on this journey to seek greener pastures, where they think life in Europe is paradise. So they need to undertake these deadly journeys just to come seek greener pastures. That is what I think the cause of the problem is.
Maybe. Mr. Kusi at Frempong, what about employment? Do you think employment is all good in Africa and still people leave it trying to come to Europe?
I won't say employment is good, I won't say it's bad, but then also we need to understand that certain people who leave Africa, as we've already maintained, want to better their lives. So it's not just to, let's say, find new jobs, but then they are looking at opportunities, opportunity to move maybe say from doing one activity and also to retrain and to do something else. You understand? Sometimes it's not always bad to migrate to another country to learn new things. There are benefits to the country, that's a mother country, if they do it right. But the way they come about it is what is really dangerous, because if you have to travel through Libya and through the sea to get to Europe, and in the short journey you lose your life, the question is it worth it?
Right.
You understand? Those are the issues that we really need to understand. Migration itself is not a bad thing, but going through that particular terrain, and losing their lives, those are the issues that are at stake right now. Those are the ones we need to look at.
Right. So if the way they travel is really dangerous and we are to stop them, could it also be like maybe the way the visa system in our country is strategized is not helping the people? Mr. Achampo?
Well, thank you in the first place. But I think the factors that actually cause these people to embark on these journeys are multiple in nature. Considering that Africa is made up of 52 countries,
right,
different sub-regions have different problems, right? I have 5 solid points to give today, if you don't mind me going through all of them. Okay, I'll be as quickly as possible. Okay, so let's move from Central Africa to somewhere like Eritrea. Still get free or die trying. Look, in Eritrea, just before you start your tertiary education, you have to join the military. Now, these kids don't want to be in military. Sometimes after 5 years, the government tries to force them to stay in there. It's not about the fact that they are not paid. They just don't want it. There's a town, and that town is highly populated by a particular group known as the Tubus. These people, all they do is to get people, recruit people, charge them, and get them to cross the sea to Italy. I'll try and find out the name of this. I'm sure you guys know about.
Yeah.
It's called Agadez. And in Agadez, every single individual in this town is one way or the other involved in this trafficking business. They charge up to $1,200. Train these people, sell them all the amenities they will need to embark on these journeys. They even give them crash courses. If you can't speak Arabic, they train you, they teach you how to speak simple Arabic, so that when you get to Libya, you can survive. Okay, let's move from there to Mali. The Gaus, they have the best camels. They train these camels as to how they can carry people across the Sahara Desert, get them to Libya. From Libya, they charge only 400 euros. 400 euros. And some government officials are actually involved. So many people are benefiting from this. If you move from there to Algeria, there's another group which is involved. Now, when you move from Africa to the European side of things, there are people in Sicily, Italy. There are people in the island called, I'm sure you know, Lampedusa, where
actually that's
where
their
they do the
destination. Yeah.
Let's put all these 4 points aside. Okay, let's move to Libya. Now, before the death of Gaddafi in 2011, Libya had 20 detention centers in Tripoli alone, not to talk of the ones outside Tripoli. Now, when Gaddafi was overthrown, all these detention centers were what? Demolished. Now, Libya has become very porous. At the time when these traffickers had to hide to get through Libya to the seaside to get people on boats, now they don't hide anymore. It's like a free transiting town. It's the busiest in the world. Anybody, the moment you get your 1,200, go to northern Niger, pay somebody, train you, provide you with all the amenities you need. The next thing you know, you are in war. Lampedusa. Somebody might say, oh, it's been going on for a while. Yeah. I don't want to go into the numbers yet. Yeah. But if you want, I can give you the numbers.
No, that's fine. I mean, well, let me. So basically, you asked the question about courses and then the visa system. Let me try and see if I can put what Prince said in perspective.
Right.
Now, so when you mentioned Mali, you mentioned Central African Republic, you mentioned Burundi, you mentioned this thing. The commonest thing happening in all these countries is war.
Right.
Okay, conflict.
There's no conflict in Niger at the moment.
It's still war torn.
But let's say it's not meant to be.
If you want to pick on my get free or die trying, then of
that's
course,
fine.
yes, you're right.
So the point I'm making is that, you see, when there is war,
yes,
when there is conflict, first of all, people try to move out of the conflict zone, to seek greener pastures, to seek to go to safety. The second thing we need to look at is that when there is conflict, no country in the world can undertake any meaningful development for its people in the midst of instability. Right. So when there is conflict, everything else breaks down. Development breaks down. Security becomes chaotic. Everything gets out of order. And that is where you come back to the point of poverty, because you can't develop.
And the fact is, most or some of these people that embark on these dangerous journeys, not all of them are from war-torn countries.
That was going to be my next point. That's why I made the point earlier that I was only putting Prince's point in perspective. That conflict is one of the things. Conflict leads to instability. Instability leads to underdevelopment.
Right, Mr. Kwesi,
I was actually going to chip in because he said he was going to say 5 things.
Yes.
Right. And have you said just one?
No,
he has made a couple of
more than 5.
But he said get free or die trying.
So I've made more mention of the fact that there are actually people in the business of getting people, recruiting people from countries, charge them, train them, give them amenities, transfer them to Europe.
If you're a businessman, you say it's a good business.
It's a good business.
Yeah, but the host is asking about the courses. So we are saying that, yes. So why would business people train people? Why did the people want to live in the first place? Because they believe that the conditions in which they were before the businessman comes in were not good. They want to see greener pastures.
Right. Yeah, but if somebody is somewhere advertising that Europe is great, come, let me take you there. That's also a course.
No.
You see,
what do you mean by no?
It is the effect.
No.
It is the. You see, that is the effect.
It's not the effect.
It is the effect. You see, we have courses.
I always say that Europe, is a victim of its own development. Okay. Now, somebody in Africa will always want to come to Europe. Look, premierships is all over the place. They see how the pitches are like, the lighting system of the country, everything. It isn't everybody that decides to leave Africa that is hungry. Some people are not. Some people just think there's magic in distant land.
Yeah,
and they want to go.
You mentioned the issue of the pre-match. You see, the reason why I'm going the strenuous length,
Yes.
okay, to put this thing in perspective is that, look, there are two groups of people that we are talking about here.
Right.
Okay. Look, anybody who can afford a DSTV box in Accra or Nigeria
Yes.
or Togo
Yes.
to watch the Premiership
Yes.
is not poor.
True.
That's the first thing. Now, you are thinking, if the person is not poor and he can afford DSTV, they want to live a certain comfortable life. The question you are asking, the topic and our discussion is about people who cram themselves onto very small boats trying to cross the Mediterranean.
That's right, yeah.
There is nobody. Look, I mean, I wanted to come to Europe, right?
But did you want to come on the
no,
boat?
So that's the point. So I wouldn't get onto a small boat if I couldn't get a visa. Tough luck.
Okay.
So we need to draw a line between the two.
Yes.
Right.
Draw a line between the two. So would we say the people that comes on the boat, they are kind of a certain class of people that really comes on the boat?
That is true.
Right.
Majority of them. If you do a random sampling of all the people who get come onto those boats trying to cross the Mediterranean, 90%, you find out that 90% of them are from very, very poor backgrounds. 90% of them are people who could not afford 3 square meals a day. That is the fact. Those are the facts on the ground.
Right. Prince, let me come in. When you were giving your examples, you mentioned something about a leader in Burundi wanting to go in the third time. That really is
Let me chip in that. When he was making that statement, he said it wasn't democratic. What is not
The
democratic?
people feel
that
it's not
Let me
democratic.
finish. What is not democratic is if the man had imposed himself. By the moment, as I understand, there's going to be a plebiscite or there's going to be a referendum.
But he was trying to manipulate the constitution to favor him.
There's going to be a referendum. So if you talk
Right. That's even a topic for that's even a topic for another day.
Let's not go off beat.
The reason why I came from these angles is because I know for a fact that some of my panel members are going to start pointing fingers at some of our leaders.
That's the question. But the thing is, it's about leadership.
Since time of independence, African leaders have proven to be rubbish. And I say that for a fact.
That's
It's harsh, but
It has to be
I'm afraid. I'm afraid that's the reality.
Rubbish.
That's the reality.
Let me explain something.
That's the reality.
Can I finish?
There's never been a time when an African leader is, we can even talk of a single African leader who never indulged in some sort of corrupt, venture.
Anyway,
they've always been rubbish.
Prince, let's keep on moving.
Can I say something about leadership?
Right.
Leadership is a
But
topic for another day.
I want to ask a question based on the explanation Prince gave.
Yeah.
He mentioned something about that leadership. That can our leaders in Africa really learn to take responsibility? Because when they are voted into power, it's their responsibility to do what is expected from them to give the people a comfortable living.
That's true.
But that means they are really not doing what they expected. That's really
you couldn't have said it better.
Right. They are creating a situation that's also forcing the people to come out from Africa.
So let me explain this. Let me explain this. Africa has its own system. That's something people should understand. Yeah, democracy happens to be one political system that African countries have adopted. In England, there's a monarch. You go to Holland, there's a monarch. You go to Sweden or Spain, if you put it that way. Yeah. In Africa, we have a clan system. We have chiefs. We have opinion leaders. That is our system. You see, at the moment, concurrently, we are running 2 systems. We have a democratic system, and we have that traditional African system.
Right, but the political system is more effective than the monarchy system.
You are not answering. He's saying that. Eric is saying that.
Yeah.
Leadership failure is one of the reasons why people are moving out of the conflict.
I'm chipping into what you're saying. Yeah, I'm coming to the very core of what you wanted to ask. Yeah, you see. If we appoint a family head and he does something, we kick him out. We know what the system is. Yeah. In Africa or Ghana at the moment, we elect people, we expect them to go into parliament, presidency, 4 years. Okay. Within that 4 years, there has to be checks, there has to be balances. The question is, between the voter and the elected representative, there's this big gap. You see, we are not making people account for the mandate that they are given.
Look, guys, I don't
say whatever we want.
I don't really.
It's a system that we actually practice, but we don't understand.
I don't really buy this argument. Look, the issue, the African leadership or whatever, the presidents we elect in African countries, okay. As I said earlier, look, they've proven beyond doubt that they can't give us anything good.
So what's the alternative?
So instead of us always pointing fingers at these leaders, let's look at something else.
No, we can't. Because
at the end of the day,
there is really no point in looking at something. I think that the leaders we've had, the leaders we've had immediately after independence.
Yes, those are to blame.
Please. They, in terms of development, in terms of putting the basic structures on the ground, they did relatively better compared to whatever. I mean, let me take our very own Kwame Nkrumah.
Right.
Kwame Nkrumah was able to set the stage for Ghana's industrial takeoff. I mean, look at all the things he did. Tema Harbour,
building
the communities. I mean, well-planned communities.
Right.
And then the famous
motorway.
Akosombo Dam.
Yes.
Okay, that was providing so much energy. Look at the energy situation now. And then we'll go on to energy, people losing their job because of doomsday and all of that. So when you compare Kwame Nkrumah to now, you see, if he had the foresight to put in place this measure, if you look at the statistics comparatively, you realize that during the time of Kwame Nkrumah, people were not that eager to travel to this part of this country.
So that means
exactly.
There is
so there's
wrong.
something. Now you see.
Really
so now that we have established the fact that there is a standard that we could look up to, for example, in terms of the Kwame Nkrumah thing,
yes,
we can safely conclude that it's a leadership problem, because if Kwame Nkrumah could do it, why can't?
And even if that was used to be back in the day,
Kwame Nkrumah also had his own corruption issues.
Of
course. That's why I keep saying that our leaders are rubbish.
Okay, all right.
So instead of
let me explain this.
You might cease fire now.
How many leaders have we had in Ghana?
I don't care.
We've tried everything.
I don't care about all the leaders.
We've tried everything. We've tried military rule. We've tried democracy.
Yeah.
The issue is, why don't we want to understand that Africans, wherever shades of opinion you are, whether you are a laborer, you're a teacher, you are whatever, when you are doing your job, you have to understand that this is what you are doing. You see, let's look at it this way. There's mediocrity all around.
Okay, all right.
It's not just the leaders, because the leaders come from society.
Right, it's been getting interesting. People, we have to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back. Don't go there, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers. Gentlemen, it's been an interesting discussion on the table. We have spoken about the causes, and obviously, this is not the only causes that's really happening. Let's think about the solution. What is the solutions to this problem? And then before you start, recently, I think the European Commission wanted to give money to Africa, which anyway they rejected. But even if this money had been successful given to Africa, do you think money is the solution to our problems?
But of course, I mean, 1.3 million? Billion? Are you joking?
And nations.
Gaddafi.
Members are going to contribute as well.
Just before he died in 2011, he requested 7 billion per year from EU to help him solve the problems. Because even though he was helping, he felt, he couldn't do much because his resources were limited. And he was calling for 7 billion per annum. Now, you're giving us 1.9 billion, 52 African countries. I mean, come on. There isn't much you can do with that.
There isn't much, but member nations of the EU were also meant to.
Of course, but how much was that going to be anyway?
Well, they were meant to match up. Even if they will give us all the money in the world, do you think our political leaders can manage this
you see, the problem we have, okay, you mentioned money, 1.3 billion, that was meant to be coming from the EU. But my position on this whole European Commission money is this. In the first place, we need to settle this thing that the EU is under no obligation at all
to help us. I do agree with you.
Whatever they promise to do, which the African nations have rejected. In fact, they should even be ashamed to say that it's not enough. Money coming from the EU, it was a favor they were doing Africa. Okay.
It wasn't a favor.
It's a favor because
it's not a favor.
It's a favor. It's like
why is it a favor?
You have a well. It's a favor. It's a favor because
we don't care.
It's a favor because
no, we do care.
It's a favor. It's a favor because it's a favor because
That's why you are sitting down here.
If I'm an African leader, I can't feed my people. My people have seen the need to go somewhere else to find food. I don't have the resources for them. They think they can do something about it, and so they are going. Why should I stop them?
You see,
why should I?
At the
end of the day, they're going to find food. They're going to find food.
They're going to find food.
They're going to send money back home to their family members.
Over the last couple of months,
it's a win-win for me.
Over the last couple of months, I've seen videos.
Right.
I've seen news reports of people crammed on those boats. Some of whom are dying.
Well, it's rather
I'm coming. Let me land.
It's rather unfortunate.
You have to be a bit sensitive.
Some of who are dying.
Sensitive, but
And then you see,
living in my homeland,
so we cannot
and die of
sit. We
hunger.
cannot sit down.
I'd rather try and not make
vote
it.
for a leader. We were in this country when rioting took place in
That was 2011.
Yeah, the British Prime Minister was on holiday with his family.
Yeah, he had to come back.
He had to cut short his holiday.
Come
That
back.
is leadership.
Taking
that
responsibility
Taking
of
responsibility.
its people.
So if you sit here and you tell me that
Yes.
people are drowning
Yes.
on high seas,
Yes.
and you tell me that a leader you have voted for, you don't care, it is the mark of irresponsibility. We shouldn't condone that. But then let me go to my main point. Let me go to my main point. Now,
let me correct you.
Now your children are dying on high seas.
They came in not because people were dying on high seas. They came in because the migration issues, the migrants in their countries were becoming too much.
Exactly. So that's fine. You see, so here I am.
They need to help themselves.
So here I am. So here I am thinking that look, okay, your people are becoming too many. That is my side. Okay, probably I'm being selfish by saying I want to give you money to keep this thing. What is your side of the bargain?
Okay,
What
let me
is your side? So you don't care.
I'll come in there.
Wait, that could come in.
Can I finish? Let me finish.
Come in.
Basically, you live in a continent, 52 different countries with abundant natural resources.
My friend, don't even bring in natural resources.
Let me finish.
Don't even bring in natural resources. We started mining.
Let me finish.
Hold your gun.
Hold on.
Mr. PC,
Yeah?
make your point.
It's like you're not giving me.
Can I finish?
Here.
You were talking, I didn't interrupt. All right? 52 different countries in Africa. 52 of almost 1 billion plus people. Okay? When these same people, eat food that they don't produce, and the food that they produce, they export it, there's always that gap. You understand? Our problem has always been the issue of we are not self-aware of who we are. If, for instance, Ghana, we are the top 3 producers of cocoa, for instance, ask yourself, how many children in Ghana today? Ghana is very stable. Let me finish. Ghana is a very stable country.
I don't really know where
Ghana is a very, very, very stable country.
I don't know where.
There are no conflicts in Ghana as we speak. Yeah. But ask yourself, how many children in Ghana taste Milo? Cocoa, what do you call it? Cocoa beverage.
The solution.
Every day. Let me finish.
The solution is.
But there are children in Ghana who eat rice every day.
The solution is simple.
Rice is not produced in Ghana. It's produced in Thailand. We do have a taste for things which are foreign.
Look,
you understand? We don't internalize and solve our own problems.
Okay.
We think that people should come into
The solution is simple. The solution is simple. Allow me to make my point. The solution is simple.
It's simple. Make a simple solution for Africa.
You are talking about natural resources. Look,
yes,
we have abundance. Yes, I agree with that. But the natural
we don't use them to good effect.
Gold, the diamond, they are all finishing. They are not sustainable. We have natural resources in abundance. Something like sunlight. It's a great natural resource.
It doesn't finish, does it?
It doesn't finish. Very sustainable. My point is, look, these Europeans want to come in. Look, we can never live in an island. Nations are coming together to form EU. Nations are coming together to form AU.
I was saying something, I didn't finish.
If they want to help us, my take is, look, we don't want your money, okay? We don't want your money. We are getting more and more educated, okay? Most African countries are very stable. It isn't all African countries that are war torn. Look, go to the stable African countries. Look, I want to help you. Yes, we don't want your money. Invest in our banks, okay? Invest in our banks. Put the monies into our banks. Bring down interest rates. People in the country
that's
are
not a
intelligent.
job of the EU.
Wait, people in the country, it's not the EU.
It's not a job of the EU.
It's not a job of the EU, but they want to help. I'm making suggestions and things they can do to help us. Look, come, invest in the banks, bring down interest rates. People in the country can take loans, okay? If there's doom so, they can get generators. That's one side of it. Look, we have abundant natural resources. Look, I've had the chance to go to places like Turkey, and it's a very big holiday destination. We can produce sunlight. We have game parks. Look, come. Look, last week, I tried looking for some of the hotels in Africa on the holiday websites like holidays.com, thomascook.com. None of these hotels were there. But some of these hotels are, look.
I thought Egypt was in Africa last time I checked.
Wait.
Morocco, Marrakesh, all those places are in Africa.
Let me land. That's one side.
It's a popular
And those are popular tourist destinations.
Wait, let me land. What I'm trying to say is, when the crisis were in Egypt, when British people were taking their people from Egypt back to England, they could have said that, look, okay, we go to Egypt for sunshine. Let's use Ghana or Nigeria as an example. Okay, Ghana can equally produce sunlight. Thomas Cook, please visit some of the hotels in these countries, okay? Ask them, tell them, give them your specs. Ask them to modify their hotels in such a way that
Prince. I was saying something. It's not a business of the EU. It's not a business of the EU to develop Africa.
Prince, you making a point, but the simple solution.
The simple solution is it has to come from Africa. It has to come from within. That was what I'm trying to explain.
it has to come from. No,
It doesn't sound that simple.
No, hear me out. Let me finish. Why, Prince? I was saying something. No, I was trying to say something.
Things that are obvious.
I was trying to say
And
something.
so you take.
All right. Let me
take an obvious point.
Let me tell you something, yeah?
But ideally,
Prince, let me finish, yeah? When or before Ghana
yes.
became a colony, we were feeding ourselves. You understand?
What was Ghana's population by then?
No, that
What
doesn't
was
matter.
Ghana's
It doesn't
population
matter.
by then?
I'm trying to say something.
When
Let
my
me finish.
great-grandfather
Let me finish.
and the whole of
We
his
were feeding
family
ourselves.
lived in one village.
6 years,
on
7
a-
years
on a
after
farmland.
independence, yeah, Ghana was still feeding itself. Ghana was not importing food. But you'd be surprised to know that Ghana imports plantain and cassava.
So in other words,
What I'm trying to say is,
in other words,
whatever thing that we eat in our
Right.
country, we should internalize it. If you go to Israel, for instance, yeah, Israel is on the desert, but that's one of the countries that actually produces
so
abundant food.
in other words, one of the solutions to the problem
It's
would
to
be
start from local.
agriculture. Should
Yes,
be.
we have abundant natural resources, the forest lands. You see, everywhere in Ghana, yeah, is a basket. We
Okay.
can produce food to feed our people.
People should concentrate.
That's how we should start.
Doing agriculture as one of
Agriculture
the solution
and
to
having
our problem.
self-sustaining.
I think I'll
Message from
tie in
within.
the issue of agriculture. I think Prince started off on a very good note.
But then he veered off.
By saying that.
I am you
by
stopped me from making my point.
saying that.
You stopped me. You stopped me from landing.
By saying that, Prince started off by saying that the money should go to the bank so that they
For
reduce
investment,
interest rates and all of that.
Right.
Brilliant
It's all
idea.
good.
Because one of the problems we face is youth unemployment. Because most of those people who got crammed onto those boats are between the ages of 30 and 40. So those are the youth. The other thing is that government should make agriculture, like he said, very, very attractive to young people, because it's a big area. It's an area that has the potential of driving the African economies forward. Okay.
I do agree.
What I don't agree is that it has to take the Europeans, the West, to come and tell
in.
Africa
Yes,
that
right.
this is how you use your money. I don't agree to that.
I don't agree.
What's happened to our educated people? What's happened to, if it's about agriculture, what has happened to our agronomists, the agric extension officers, the agric engineers, the agric economists? What's happened to them with their PhDs and all that? What's happened to that? Well, the point I'm trying to make is that it shouldn't take the West to come and tell Africa how to do these things. There should be homegrown solutions to the problem.
Yes. Right.
So interest rates going down, fine. Because once interest rates go down, okay, young men can be able to access loans from the bank to do carrot farming, lettuce
Or other
farming,
small businesses that
or
they
other
wish to
small other
invest
things.
in, yeah.
Now you see, the good thing, I mean, one of the things that I find very attractive to some extent is that you realize that sometimes European countries, even America had this system called the Africa Growth and Opportunities Act,
yeah.
where they were giving African countries the opportunity to bring a certain percentage of their agricultural produce to sell on the American market. That is good because you see, when you produce, you need a market for it. For example, look, nearly 60% of Chinese goods end up on the American market. Okay, so that is how China makes money. So I'm saying that if they could access loans, go into agriculture, fair trade is there. I mean, so go to Sainsbury's, you see sugar and all those things coming from Kenya and all those things. If we can expand that enterprise, I mean, I've seen pineapple from Nsawam in Sainsbury's.
Right.
Brilliant idea.
That's interesting.
Go to the co-op shop.
And for your information, I've also seen shit on the shelves of Sainsbury's.
Thank you very much. So the point I'm making is that. So that is one thing. If the government can stay the course, governments in Africa, if they can stay the course and produce, make agriculture attractive, make business attractive, small and medium, and if they can make it attractive, we wouldn't have to come begging for 1.3 billion just to prevent young people from this thing. Having said that, I must end by saying
but
that.
But then no one went to Europe to beg for money though. They
you see,
they didn't.
You are getting the whole thing wrong. You see, it was a crisis. It was a crisis that triggered. It was a crisis that triggered. I'm not saying you are begging. Look, if I go to my neighbor's house, and I see his house on fire with all his 3 children trapped in the house, and I phone, and I don't need him to beg me.
I like your Pan-African ideas. Great, brilliant.
Yeah, but that's what took us far.
The world is a global village now.
Yes.
Okay. Look, we are here talking about.
It must be the world is a global village. The world is a global village.
Look,
by way of collaboration in terms of economic and everything. That's why it is not a global village to be used for begging as a begging platform.
So we are not begging.
Yeah. No, let me.
We are not begging.
At the moment,
we are not begging. You can't take out your people.
We are not
your
begging.
people are dying.
We are not begging.
Poverty is killing the people. Ebola. After so many years after independence,
what happened
you
to
have
our
to rely on.
Mr. Frimpong.
He made. One minute.
I think Mr. Frimpong is not.
I've not been speaking much.
To make a point.
Okay, maybe you should hurry up.
You see,
you should speak
the
faster.
European Union at the moment actually has this mechanism in place where African countries, have to sign up to this EPA thing. I believe
Economic
it's a free trade partnership.
Yeah.
But looking at the past, you see, we signed these agreements with them. Before we knew it, they colonized us. You understand? Burn of 1844, all these things. So we are not just coming from an angle where we are just needing something, but we are quite suspicious. We've got the resources. Chinese are in Africa and they are exploiting some of these things. But in a way, give African governments credit. We are at least wiser. In terms of, we know that, you see, give people like Kwame Nkrumah, Mugabe and the rest, that credit. We are wiser. We have our national interest. You see, if our
What's your point?
My point is there's a free trade agreement that is in place. Yeah.
Okay.
Which will help in some of the things that we discussed. But then also going forward, there's also the onus on the African population. You understand? To also do things that will benefit them and not look elsewhere for help.
Okay.
To make a quick point to what you are saying. You see, I'm of the opinion that if you look at Europe is stronger because majority of the countries that make up the European Economic Community have very strong economies, so they can afford to trade amongst themselves. Look, Africa has 52 nations, a population of 1 billion people, plus, massive market. If we are able to grow the local economies, and they are stronger, we could even afford to trade amongst ourselves.
That's right. I do agree with you because I think there's problem people just traveling to Togo and then get stuff to sell in Ghana. They have to use smuggling tactics.
Thank you very much. So you see, for example, as we speak, Ghana imports onions from Niger, a country that has half of its land mass landlocked desert. Yeah, I don't have any issues at all.
But it's a good thing for Africa.
It's a good thing for Africa because intra-Africa trade, brilliant idea.
So intra-African trade.
That is
and when you were making point, when you were making your point, there's something that you were trying to make about Thomas Cook hotels and so on. And that comes to the point of tourism. Tourism is one thing that can help us to create a nice situation back home to entice the people.
I mean, brilliant idea. I mean, tourism is a very big area, but you see, tourism dwells on clean environments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once
it comes back. It comes back.
That's a fair point.
It's a fair point.
You see,
so
it's a fair point, but I'm afraid that's a bit grandiose.
So, for example, there's a place in Accra. There's a place in Accra called Lighthouse, Jamestown thereabouts. An old city, Accra, Manchagbona and all those things. Those are places that people could visit.
Right.
It's good for Ghana to attract tourism. But then you see, you don't want to see people defecate just next to where
I saw one video.
It's a disincentive. So it is not a matter of
that's a grandiose point. That's a grandiose point.
No, but you are saying Thomas Cook.
Thomas Cook,
of course.
Imagine you hold the hand of the chief executive of Thomas Cook. Yeah, you go to Africa and you see someone enjoying himself.
So what's the point?
The point is that
charity begins at home.
Before you ask Thomas Cook to come in.
So what happens?
Charity begins at home.
Because Thomas Cook is a business. It's not a charity.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's
Why does it even have to be Thomas
That's the
Cook
point.
coming in there?
The moment we mention tourism,
We have the Ministry of Tourism,
Yeah,
and their job is to do that.
You're
Not
so
Thomas Cook.
quick. You're so quick and so quick to pick on the negatives in Africa.
Yeah.
No, we are not doing that.
I'm saying that it's a great
What happened to our waterfalls?
Yeah, but I don't need Thomas Cook to advertise our waterfalls.
Wait, what happens to our waterfalls? What happens to our safaris? What happened to our Moli parks?
Yeah, because it's all part of the tourism element that
Why can't you watch? Why can't you watch? Why can't you watch?
It isn't.
Why can't you watch?
There's something you have to understand.
You're a
citizen of Ghana.
Let me give you an example.
It's a brilliant idea. You see what he's saying is brilliant.
Wait, let me give you. Let me give you
the waterfalls.
Let me give you an example.
But the point I'm making is that the conditions
are not there.
There's a waterfall in Ghana called the Bli waterfall. It is up.
Wait, let me give you an example.
The road to Bli, it's in the
Yes, it's really good.
So I'm saying
that's the point. That's my point.
So whose problem is it? Thomas Cook's problem to solve that problem.
That's my point. Look, I went to Turkey. This is a first-hand experience. I went to Turkey. On a trip, and I also had the chance to enjoy their holiday package. Okay, there's a place called Antalya. Antalya is made up of it's a holiday destination.
Yeah.
Now I went on a safari trip, and on that trip, do you know what I witnessed?
What did you see?
The roads, they had intentionally made potholes on the roads, filled these potholes with red water. Their soil is even not red. They've intentionally created that for the trucks to go on these roads, yeah, the bumpiness and the
roads that we are talking about is not this kind of roads. But then on purpose. But Africans want is not done on purpose.
No.
Let me chip in, yeah?
No,
go to Senegal, go to Gambia right now. These are, within the next 5 years, going to be the top holiday destinations in the world.
It shouldn't.
So
it shouldn't,
other
you shouldn't
African
think.
countries should also
You
learn
shouldn't
from
think.
it.
Yeah.
When someone says let's go to Morocco, I just say back like
that. You shouldn't think
I'm
that.
from Ghana. We've got a beach. If I know places where I can go to Ghana to chill out, I don't need to go to Morocco to chill out because we have better beaches there. You understand?
Right.
Because we know the right places in Ghana where we can have fun, and we know the places that we don't have to go. So what we do is, as a citizen of Ghana,
we can advertise
you
those
being in the
places.
UK right now.
We can
yeah,
advertise
all the people
those
you meet.
places.
You can
shouldn't
talk
concentrate
business
on
with them.
all
You
the
don't need to
negatives.
ask
We are not talking about negatives. We have already agreed. No, we agreed before I make my point. No. Before I make my point.
Who told you that an average 32-year-old British woman wanting to visit Africa want to see another Buckingham Palace?
No, the point I'm making.
Yeah, but maybe they might want to see a
Who told you an average?
You never know. They might want to see that sword. Yeah, that's in the Russian.
The point.
Have you heard of that story?
Have
you heard of that story?
Russian corporations want to come to Ghana and see another Times Square.
We did agree.
No, Prince.
Somebody would like to come to Africa.
We are looking for solutions to the problem.
Solutions.
That's what we
Exactly.
Yes. So let's talk about the solutions.
So we are saying that. So I'm saying that tourism is a brilliant idea.
Right.
Agriculture is another brilliant idea.
Great.
You see, but then we are looking for solutions. When you are looking for solutions, you don't leave them hanging in the air. The point I'm making is that in as much as tourism is a brilliant idea
Yes.
and has the potential, in fact, as we speak, Tourism is the third foreign exchange earner for Ghana. We can even bring it to the second or even the first.
Yes.
Okay. But the point I'm making.
But there's room for improvement.
Yeah. The point I'm making is that before you get there,
But
before
don't
you
come
make
at
it,
school.
before you do that,
It was the point I was
you need
making.
to solve the basics, the fundamentals. Okay. No tourist would want to walk on the streets of Accra at night with all the street lights off.
Exactly,
and
and
get
obviously
attacked.
getting
So
more
I'm only
people
saying
on-
that. I'm only giving the Africa. I'm only
It's totally up to that individual's perception about Africa and what they want to see when they go to Africa.
Prince,
Yeah, but you have to sell your country right.
Prince,
You think
Prince,
we are
Prince,
talking
yeah.
about the solutions.
We're talking
here.
about solutions.
Okay.
Yeah, talking about solutions.
You see,
Bring
like
it.
we've said before, yeah, he did chip in. When he went to Turkey, I've had this discussion with him. He
Yeah.
said, "Wow, the people in
Hey,
Turkey."
wait, don't.
Let me
don't-
finish. Listen to what I'm saying.
Hold it.
He goes
Right.
like, "Wow, solar panels are things
course.
that he saw."
Of
You know,
course.
I'm like, okay, when you saw that, what did you do? You don't expect President Mahama. When he comes to Turkey, he'll be with the high level people. He will not be with the people on the ground. So for you as a person, when you went there and you saw those people, yeah, with those solar panel and all those technology, try and establish contact. That is how you can make it. That's how you can, you know, get your friends in Africa to also learn these basic things. You see, so it's not just the
responsibility
political
of the
class.
political
It's
class.
the
Everyone's
job of every
responsibility.
Ghanaian,
Right.
So you're picking up
every
points now.
African,
It's fine. So
you
we
know,
shouldn't-
to tap
so we
into
shouldn't-
whatever we know.
So you agree with me that we shouldn't always like point fingers at the leaders. But
What did I say
But
before?
you see,
as
it
the
comes back. You
citizens
see,
of
it
the
comes
leaders
back.
are from us.
It comes back. You see,
so my solution. So it's my turn to bring up my solution. Right. So as I was making my point, I actually made mention of the Gaos. I made mention of the Tobus. I made mention of these towns who specialize in training people, getting people, and package them in a way that they can go to Europe through these routes. Okay. Now, if you want to solve the problem, we can tackle the issue from these angles.
How?
Stop them.
But
How?
Prince, then other
How do
people
you
become
stop them?
unemployed.
Huh?
How?
Because that's
do
their
we stop
job.
them?
How do we stop
Yeah,
them?
give us.
How do we
how
stop
we
them?
stop them?
Set up groups in these towns. We know where the towns are. We know the people, the tribe that specializes in these things. Okay, target them individually. Target them individually. We know the routes they use. Stop those routes.
Right.
We know particular places, the shorelines they actually meet. Place people there, as Gaddafi was doing. He was using the militia to stop them. We can do the same thing. If there's no means to do it, it wouldn't even get there in the first place.
Okay, I think our time will be up in a second. I'm giving everyone one last shot to give a last message
Okay,
to the viewers.
My view is
Brief
that
and,
my view is
short.
that charity begins at home.
Right.
You understand? Everything has to be from home. Africans have to grab the metal and sort it out themselves. They don't need help from anywhere because, as Kwame Nkrumah said, a black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
All right, Mr. Numa Kebo, your last message.
My last point is that you see, everything comes back to leadership. In Ghana and most African countries, there is a saying that the public sector creates the enabling environment for the private sector to thrive, because the private sector is the engine of growth, as we always say. Who are the public servants? Okay, they are the politicians, the policy makers. So the point I'm making is that it is about time that Africa takes its destiny in its hands. Government should be responsible. Conflicts, poverty, disease, those are things within our grasp. We can solve it. The solutions are there. Let's come up with the policies. Make agriculture attractive. Make the energy sector attractive. Make the small and medium enterprises sector attractive for people.
Use the natural
The
resources.
resources. Manage them well. You don't need 1.3 billion. And with that, Africa will be fine.
All right, Prince, your last word. It should be
Right.
quick.
So my thing is these problems that we face in Africa in terms of not managing our resources very well, the leadership problems and all that, they've been going on for a long time. We can't day in, day out depend on our leaders to make the right decisions to solve our problems. The individuals within the country, the educated entities of the country, okay, can make contacts outside our various nations, even go outside Africa, make contacts, bring home investors, and that would also help our countries to move forward rather than just relying on our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure discussing this
Thank
issue
you
with
very
you. People, we might have to bring the conversation to an interesting end. But Nelson Mandela once said, "I dream of Africa having peace with itself." Myself and the discussion team and the production crew behind the cameras, it is our dream and hope that one day Africa will find peace with itself and the people will love to stay back home and not risk their lives. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you.